Of my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Hey yana ho yana, hey yana, hey yana ho yana, hey, hey yana ho yana, hey yana, hey yana ho yana, hey. We are here, loving our mother, and we are willing to love each other. Open hearts and open minds. We raise our voices and sing these praises. And sing these praises. You know this. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Hey yana ho yana, hey yana, hey yana ho yana, hey, hey, hey yana ho yana, hey yana, hey yana ho yana, hey.
Oh, so good. Thank you, Omashar, live from Boulder, Colorado. I look forward to seeing you soon too, also.
Thank you.
So at this point, we're going to get into the program. But again, here at the Earthstock Foundation, we always make sure that arts and culture and traditional wisdom and indigenous people's voices are included in everything that we do, especially in an age where we can kind of become information saturated. So with that, I'd like to invite Grandmother Gail Thomas to come and just share briefly an opening prayer. And we'll be inviting her back later in the program to share some amazing, inspiring music and video and traditional songs. So welcome, Grandmother Gail, to our Earth Day broadcast 2025, celebrating 55 years of Earth Day.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm so happy to be a part of this in our traditional way of opening gatherings with our ancient songs. So I'm here in my ancestral Salagi land on our sacred mountain, Arigu, which means helping many people. And I know that all of these presenters today are here to help many people. So I'm grateful to offer this protection song to the earth and for all living beings.
Great. Thank you so much, Grandmother Gail. And I do want to acknowledge Gail Thomas was one of the recipients of the Love Pod, which is a handheld wireless Wi-Fi technology that we distribute through Earthstock Enterprises and Regen Global. So I know sometimes, because she is in Asheville, North Carolina, which is still suffering dramatically from the fallout of the hurricane that came by months ago, with trees down and flooding, and a lot of telecommunications and infrastructure and roads were damaged. So I'm glad that she could join us today through the support and the miracle of the Love Pod. Even though I know sometimes the signal is not always the best, we're still happy to have you with us here today, Grandmother Gail.
And I'm happy to be here. Okay.
So with that, I'm going to invite Alan Tratner, Professor Alan Tratner from Green to Gold, to come on. He's going to be introducing and kind of co-hosting some of the program today, especially since Alan and I are in deep alliance and collaboration with his many hundreds of organizations that he has helped incubate, green nonprofit foundations, and all the works he's done around patents and intellectual properties. But before we do that, I just want to acknowledge that part of our collaboration through Regen Global is Regen Media TV, where we're broadcasting today on YouTube, which will be later broadcast also on our Vimeo page. Also about Regen World Magazine, which is a quarterly magazine now going out to over 80,000 people digitally. And our last issue was about 180 pages. And not only that, but also the project that we're doing related to the Regen Global. And I want to thank Rachel Tice today for broadcasting us on spatial into the virtual world reality, where we have everything Earthstock and Regen Global there. And all of you are now going to be broadcast into the virtual world in real time, and also working and connecting and immersed with the avatars that are joining us there. So without any further ado, welcome Professor Alan Tratner from Green to Gold.
Hi, everyone. Aloha from the middle of the Pacific. Welcome to the 55th anniversary of Earth Day. It happens to be that when I helped create Earth Day in 1970, we created the Environmental Education Group and the Green to Gold Incubator, which is now the longest existing, continuously operating, full service incubator on the planet. It was a whole thing about solutionizing, literally a word that Michael came up with for these interviews with you that are impact makers. And we have a whole lineup this morning about that. This morning for me, I started at 7 a.m. So I want to get right to that, but just to make a comment about something. Earth Day was significant at its time when we caused that to happen. 1/5 of the US population turned out for Earth Day. We were quite surprised, those of us that did that, and Senator Gaylord Nelson was supposed to be a teach-in. It has been the promise and what we were doing during the 1960s, that incredible decade of action, and they were doing teach-ins. And Senator Gaylord said that after the big Union Oil blowout in Santa Barbara County and in 1969, same year, ironically, the highest technology we had at the time went to the moon and back, but it was the beginning of the modern environmental movement. And so it was a teach-in that was designed. Now it's the largest civic event on the planet. Billions of people turn out and they do great things in the schools and individuals and their homes and businesses. And so we're very proud of that. But I want to get to the solutionaries that we've lined up today. They are part and parcel to what we do at Green to Gold and in Regeneration Global, as Michael pointed out. So I would like to introduce our first speaker, who happens to be one of our sponsors, and that is Green Tech and Brian Figueroa. And Brian, welcome. We're going to show your video, which is about this new breakthrough, but I'd like you to take a couple moments to talk about your Green Tech and the foundation that we're helping you with, Green Tech Foundation.
Absolutely. Well, good morning there, Professor Allen, and happy Easter and happy Earth Day, 55 years. So congratulations and contributing to the world for all these years. So I appreciate that. So my name is Brian Figueroa. I'm the CEO of Green Tech. We are a renewable energy development company based here in Southern California. And so I've just been on a mission for the last 15 years, learning and understanding green technologies to bring it to the world and make a difference and really make an impact out there and build a legacy with green tech. So we have a battery storage project that we have in Southern California that we're building and using some very innovative green technologies for battery storage. Part of a wind project down here in Southern California, and other green technologies come to me like this solar that you could barely see it. This is a solar film, has a hologram nanotechnology into it, and we partnered up with this technology company about a couple of years ago, and this will actually go into a solar panel and increase the output up to 30% even on cloudy days. So this is the kind of technologies that come to me, and if it's not a game changer or cutting edge, it just don't waste my time. Now I'm in my mid 50s, and at the end of the day, it's not wasting my time, and especially synergizing with Professor Allen. We have, Professor Allen and I, as we connected here a few years ago, he helped us create our Green Tech Foundation because we want to make an impact there. We got a great lineup of some great, advisory board members on our team to make an impact on a global basis. And some of these green technologies, I'm going to show you one here in a minute that's going to make a really impact and help build back Lahaina or even build back LA because of the fire problems that we're having. So in a nutshell, this is a game-changing technology. This is a technology that came to me like other technologies do. I flew over to Florida, vetted out this technology. It's been in the market for over 12 years, based out of Europe. And they came and they basically planted this. They built this. This technology is proven. They could build. What I love about it is recyclable plastics, recyclable glass. It's 20, a little north of, we'll say 10 times stronger than concrete. And it's a Lego lock structure that could build a house, a 2,000 square foot house in less than, we'll say 72 hours, just the structure part of it. And the video you're going to see here in a second, these guys made, it's a 96 unit apartment complex, and they created this into, in less than 90 days with 11 men. So this can be a game changer technology. We are, bringing it to Lahaina with Professor Allen. He's getting pretty excited with the governor and the mayor over there in Lahaina, and we're bringing it here to California and many on the West Coast.
Brian, thank you for again sponsoring, and he's been with us for some time. Everybody can see this poster back here. This was what we created, Build Back Green. We being Michael, myself, and all the institutions, including Green Tech and other ones that sponsored us. After the Lahaina disaster, only within weeks, we did our first test of Regen Media, our TV, on a broadcast, and it was about building back green. Now, we have three focuses on Regen Global, of course, and Green to Gold. One is the resilience part of it and prevention of these kinds of disasters in a sustainable, self-sufficient way. But Build Back Green is after you've been hit. And as everybody knows, around the world, there have been increasing record-breaking disasters that have happened. We just did last Sunday or so, we did a Build Back Green, a second session on Mexico. And of course, we talked about Carolinas, and they had the floods and then the fires. And this is what's happening to the world and with climate change. And there are ways. We have the technology, the solutionaries, such as Green Tech and the other ones you'll hear about coming up right after this session. And it's all about bringing both the smarts and the wisdom of native indigenous people combined into a parallel program that shows how we become and build back something that's been destroyed from climate change, natural disaster, or even war things, which are terrible, but how you build back so that it is sustainable and regenerative and self-sufficient in food and energy, and all from renewable, sustainable, natural sources. And that's what we're proud of. And again, I'm so glad that from the very beginning, Green Tech, among others, was one of our sponsors to Build Back Green. And that's why Lahaina, that the whole world saw, the incineration of an entire city right into the harbor, and the boats and people trying to escape into the water being incinerated, was just horrible. And it was one example of the ferociousness of these fires, like what happened in Los Angeles. So here is Brian with his description. Now we just
I'm
need
here at this apartment complex here in Florida that they built this apartment complex in less than 90 days with 6 men. This is a game-changing technology. It's a block system that's made by recyclable glass and plastics that's 10 times stronger than concrete. This is going to revolutionize the market in the building aspect of things. We are going to be bringing this to the West Coast California markets, and it's fireproof. It's going to help the fire challenges that we had over in California last month. In California, this is going to, it's fireproof, it's earthquake proof, and it can handle winds up to 275 miles. This is a game-changing technology. Green tech is on the move.
beautiful. So I would like to get Brian back on for a moment. Brian?
Yes, I'm right here, Professor.
Okay. I just want to remind everybody that the building material and the need to do this in a sustainable fashion is so different than what is happening. People are rushing, and you can understand why they rush to rebuild, but they're rebuilding in old wooden frame bases, just inviting another climate-driven disaster, fires, winds, whatever it is, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, droughts, and rot and all that, insect infestations. That's why these solutions are so incredible. And what we bring to that with green tech and green to gold and a number of the other technologies you're about to hear about from our other solutionaries is that we make the buildings self-sufficient. They're energy generators. Every building, every facility on this planet is a power plant. If we want to tap into solar and wind and all and groundwater geothermal and all those possibilities, these can be self-sufficient. They can be microgrids. We don't have to be connected to the big utilities that are going out from all these disasters, and they keep charging you higher and higher rates. We don't have to sacrifice the planet or our comfort, our well-being, our security, because we can make everybody independent. And that's what gets added into this kind of technology. So Brian, I want to thank you very much for joining us, for continuing to sponsor Build Back Green and this Earth Day event. And I kind of look forward to our association on what Michael mentioned, the concept of being first responders to climate change disasters in a way that will make us better in the future, be better for the whole planet. So Brian, thank you. Last word or two?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Professor. And this is and I'm super excited about this new technology because after I flew to Florida, met the owners, I shared that with you, Professor, to give us 100% certainty that this is not like maybe it might work, but it has the infrastructure built for the last 12 years, and they've done thousands of them around the country, around the world. So we're pretty excited about bringing it to Lahaina in California on the West Coast because that's my strength. But on a positive note, we're here to make an impact and make the world a better place. So I love you guys and looking forward to continue working with you and building our ecosystem together.
Great.
And as
Thank
we
you.
say in Hawaii, mahalo to you, which is a
Okay.
beautiful way to say thank you. And we appreciate you and the best wishes to you.
And
Never
Professor
interview-
Troutner,
Yes.
Professor Troutner, before Brian goes, again, I'm not here to do infomercials today, but part of this Regeneration Global project that we're doing with Alan is we put a lot of our efforts, contacts, and resources together. So I will be in Los Angeles the first few days of May for the Super Crowd 25 Superpowers for Good. Which is a huge opportunity to connect with different sources of support. But also I want to mention that, again, in my communication with Professor Troutner, that I will be attending and speaking at Build Back LA, which is happening later in June. So again, all these things are aligning, and that's why I'm glad we can have this time together on Earth Day as we start to weave together to be more collaborative and to bring these solutions to the forefront. So again, thank you, Brian, for your support and for showing up today and all that you do.
And now for our next solutionary, we have EcoWise, which is also one of our sponsors and has been with us since the beginning of Build Back Green and for Earth Days. EcoWise is a part of the EcoWise Innovation Institute and a for-profit entity that's like a B Corp, the EcoWise Innovations Unlimited and Green to Golden Alliance. And what we're doing here today is we're going to introduce Forever Runs. It is the major project that we've been doing for the last couple of years. And it was stimulated by Richard Pocapalia, who's an amazing inventor, probably our most prolific inventor. In 55 years, I've had an inventor's workshop in Green to Gold, hundreds and hundreds of innovations and inventions and new ideas in every field, plus nutraceuticals and making drought-resistant crops and everything else that he does on his ranch in California. So he isn't with us today, but I'm here to do that. And I would like to introduce Sarah and Glenn. They're two of the multiple people in a whole team of folks on Forever Runs. So if you can cue that up, Michael, that would be great. The Forever Runs, the intent of Forever Runs is one of the biggest bugaboos and challenges to wide-scale adoption of EV vehicles of all types was range. And those restrictions, even with the highest ones and the most expensive, about limited physical range of the lithium-ion conventional batteries. And what we've done in this Forever Runs project is we've taken the cream of the best innovation and invention that we have in Green to Gold and beyond and coupled them into two things that are really important. One is the use of the extension of range, large scale extension, long range of land vehicles. So we call it Forever Land. Forever Runs Land, and then Forever Runs Water, under the water and on the top of the sea, and then Forever Runs Aircraft. All these technologies have been developed to help those have longer range. Retrofitting, or what they call OEM, original equipment manufacturing, from the different types of manufacturing that can be done, but even our own. And the culmination of that is all those technologies come together in what we call the multimode. And that's on the slide that should be coming up that Sarah just put together. And Glenn and I have been working on this. And this is the presentation to the world after a couple of years of working on this, of what solutions that we have. This is the Institute for EcoWise Innovation, the logo. And now we'll try to get that slide that we just got to you this morning, last night and this morning. Michael, did you get it?
Yeah, just continue. I'm doing like 9 things. I'll come up with the slide here.
Okay, so I'll explain to that. Sarah, do you want to take a second, even without the slide being up, talk about what you put together, what that means, this holistic approach, how it went from just the vehicles in land, sea, and air, but also ended up being what we can have as our own home power plant. And it's a part of our Independence home, our geodesic dome that has all the energy you'd ever want from these natural sources, and batteryless energy storage. One of the big breakthroughs that we have, solid state, has none of the problems of chemical leakage, fires, explosions that lithium ion. It has like 5 times the longevity of a lithium ion, and where a lithium ion battery might have 5,000 charge discharge cycles, this is like 20,000 plus, and it's recyclable at the end into becoming another battery or something else. And it's all out of recycled materials. It is cradle to cradle circularity. It's incredible. So Sarah, why don't you talk a little bit while he gets the slide up?
Yeah. So the idea is we can have multiple sources of energy or power, solar, turbines, biofuels, etc. Um, of course, the battery helps in a way that we can store all this clean energy for a longer storage. And the idea is these homes, as well as the transportation, such as the boats or the cars or the planes, can be um, essentially forever running. So the idea is like they shouldn't have to be charged too often, and they should be able to travel further distances. Um, so like just going back to what I specifically was working on, I had been working on the motors, looking at different types of motors, as well as the power distribution system for the motorhome. Um, and so I had done some preliminary CAD drawings and essentially help set up a system, as well as making a list for parts we might need to convert this motorhome to an EV motorhome. Yeah, and so I guess that's all I have to say so far.
Yes, let me mention Sarah and Glenn and a whole team. Our aerospace engineer Tom Sims, that's been with us for a long time. Here it is. Terrific. Thank you. This is what she was referring to. We are working on a motorhome which is very much impacted by the banning of diesels that primarily are one of the generations of power for motorhomes, and we're making one that's electric and that is recharging on the run all the time, and using into this batteryless technology and electric boats, both surface and underwater, and of course, aircraft. This happens to be our Sky Fire engine, firefighting new rotorcraft. And all of these now can be extended with amazing range and quick charging as opposed to many hours. And when we get to the Exodo scooter a little bit later, coming up as one of the solutionaries, I'm going to talk about how we're helping to remode this particular incredible super safety scooter. It's one of our harm-free products. That's coming up in a moment, the solutionaries about harm-free. But you can see what she's been doing here is that we're using multiple forms of solar, geothermal, wind energy, bio-based everything into recharging and then really regenerative from the braking and the coasting of vehicles, even in the water and aircraft, and certainly vehicles on the ground. Most people that have a hybrid or a electric vehicle understand about regeneration. What happens, it reverses the electric motor when you take the foot off the throttle, the control, and or coasting, and you're helping to regenerate the charge of the battery. So I want to thank, and Glenn, these are wonderful people. They're master engineers, mechanical engineers. Sarah's an incredible electronics, electrical engineer. All these have been volunteering to be a part of a major program to change the complexion of range for every kind of vehicle that we have and for our homes. And part of this technology is what we talked about earlier with Brian and the building blocks, is that we want to make all these buildings be self-generating power plants and energy storage. And that's the whole purpose of what we've been doing ever since Green to Gold was born in 1970, the green economy, and how we can create good green jobs. So thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Sarah. And we'll get to our next presentation of a solutionary, and that is, in fact, the Harm-Free Emporium. So I'd like to get Sydney and Michelle to join us and come on. And if Michael can put up the harm-free information, our package. This is kind of like the landing page for kind of like a teaser. This won't be very long. It's just to show you what we're about to do, and I'll give you a little bit of background on that. In 2020, during the heart of the COVID, when everything was shut down, we decided to do this transition to sustainability, the green economy, and really become proactive. Part of that was the Harm-Free Emporium. And that at that time was to put together technology and methodologies and inventions and products that we could use in rebuilding, making a facility more sustainable, self-sufficient. And that has grown to this last year plus that we've been working on a public-facing version of Regen Global, Green to Gold, this nonprofit website called harmfreeemporium.org. And it's going to be a place that some of the best harm-free to humans, to animals, to plants, and the planet. That's the criteria. Wonderful. And this is the first landing page to give you a good feeling of that. We have a wind-powered, solar-powered robot. We haven't given them a name yet. That's a shopping cart and checkout. We have a cornucopia that is going to spill out. You know, that's abundance. Cornucopia is in farm language, and their use over the centuries have been abundance. And out of that is going to be all these categories, 15, 30 categories of products, everything from toothpaste to deodorant to vehicles. There's that Exodo scooter we're talking about. We have the inventor, founder of that company. We have bamboo diapers, all kinds of products, foods, clothing, regenerative and renewable energy technologies, all available to you. And you get a little bonus. with the Harm-Free Emporium. Sydney, Sydney and Michelle, are you on for a second? I want to pay homage to you for helping us do this. Do you have your mics on?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Okay. Do you have your camera on?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So Sydney's been with us one of the longest. Clarence and Sydney worked with us on the beginning of this public-facing Harm-Free Emporium, where we've accumulated literally probably 1,000 or more products that will meet this criteria. And most of them are out of Green to Gold, our members around the world, 100,000 plus members, and things that have come to us from Michael and Earthstock and Regen Global, et cetera. And she's been helping us put this together. She has a background. You should talk about yourself. Give us a moment about your background.
Yeah, so I'm a senior at UC Berkeley. I'm currently majoring in political economy and minoring in food systems. And so I've had this passion and interest for health for individuals, communities, the planet. And so this project really aligned with what I was passionate about. And yeah, I've been working on it for about a year, and it's been amazing to see all the progress that we've made and yeah, how close we're coming to publishing the website and getting it all up and running.
Thank you. And Michelle, who's in Kenya, that has been working with me a long, long time, incredible interns that we have around the planet. We have like 90 interns, folks, that in every field you can possibly imagine that have come to volunteer and be with us. Some that are years long, amazing, and some that are 6 months, and then the standard 10 weeks or 10 hours a day or in 10 weeks. But they're helping us power this whole thing up. And we
want to acknowledge Susanna, who I'm working with from France, because we're on the verge of putting out a list of over 100 consultants and contractors from all around the world that are doing regenerative solution-based projects. So again, Regeneration Global is kind of an alliance of a lot of different people, but really fueled up by 55 years of work by Professor Troutner and Green to Gold and Earthstock Enterprises, along with many others, way too many to go into the few hours that we have today. So I know Michelle's not here. So
okay, so then let's go right to Tim at Exodo, one of our harm-free type products that we're going to be presenting. And he has one of the most exciting things that you can see from a vehicular standpoint. So why don't we welcome Tim and run his video, and then we'll discuss it.
Okay, yeah, let's bring Tim on. I'll get the video queued. Give me a few minutes, and then after that, we'll have a brief musical interlude with Omashar. But welcome, Tim.
Hi, great to be here with you guys today. I'm Tim Hunsinger, founder of Exodo. We make self-stabilizing electric scooters that make it easier and safer to ride for everyone.
Yeah, Tim. Let me, while the video is queuing up, which is really a wonderful video, it's something that everybody should have. It's a whole kind of look at the history of somebody and how they got to where they are and inventing and creating green and doing something impactful and the result of that. It's kind of a wonderful synopsis of what Tim is about. But what I loved about meeting Tim, and it was thanks to one of our other Green to Gold ventures that introduced us, is that I know Tim from a couple different angles. He and I both are industrial designers. I won a contest with General Motors way back in the late in the 60s, and our whole family moved out from Michigan to go to the Art Center College of Design. I think I was the youngest student and I didn't even have junior college experience that they required when I started. But what's interesting is that Tim was a student also of Art Center and ended up being an instructor, which is an incredible accolade for his talents and his background. And he created this incredible technology of the Exodo. And you'll see that kind of biographical look about inventing and how something comes to light. It's very important. And even when we talk a little bit later at the end, oh, here it is. Wonderful. If that can queue up. So I am obviously philosophically attached and inventively and industrial designerly attached to what Tim does and what he's going to do with these vehicles and new generations of it. We have one that was just delivered to us yesterday for the Earth Day events. and beyond. We're going to make this available for the from the Harm-Free Emporium and other outlets, and help this company grow as we do for all the other types of products that are in Green to Gold, in our Harm-Free Emporium and Regeneration Global.
We have a scooter that is currently available in the market. You can rent it there on Maui, and you can purchase it anywhere in the United States. It's a DOT approved scooter. It's fully electric, but in many states you don't need a motorcycle license to ride it because it is self-stabilizing and a three-wheeler. The main difference with our vehicle versus other vehicles that are similar is that it's actually capable of leaning. So, you know, I've been riding for 35 years now, and I wanted to design a vehicle that was safer to ride, but still fun. And a lot of three-wheelers, you know, once you add that third wheel, it loses its, it just doesn't feel like a motorcycle anymore. But ours, because it leans, because it's stabilizing, etc., it still feels like a motorcycle and yet is safe. The top speed is 45 miles an hour. It's limited to 45, so it's not freeway legal. It's for running around town. But in urban environments, often having a car is just a pain, and you don't need such a large vehicle to get around. So if you're just popping down to the coffee shop or going to meet friends, this is a vehicle that is really safe, really quick, easy to use. Literally costs a nickel to charge it. It gets a range of 90 miles with 2 batteries. It'll hold 2 removable batteries within the vehicle. And yeah, I mean, the idea is just to share the joy of riding with more people.
Here we go.
It really is a joy. I think you can cue it up. Is it ready to go, Michael? Ah, great. Here's the story of Tim and the Exodo scooter.
As you see, it literally does lean just like a motorcycle. You know, it even though it's self-stabilizing.
And I remember the beautiful phrase you had, surf the road, right? You have this feel about it. It has such a unique feel, and anybody, I remember a young lady that when we met in Maui, that just got on it for the first time and was able to ride it around. You know, it's so intuitive, and to be able to handle it and everything. It does beautiful. It has great lighting, inconspicuity from the rear.
For most people, it takes about 5 minutes to actually get the hang of it. And most of that's just building the confidence that you really can lean, and it'll hold you up. But yeah, we've had people that have ridden the scooter that literally have never ridden a bicycle before, and they jump right on. They're able to negotiate how to manage the brakes, etc., and learn how to ride for the first time. We've also had people that are very experienced riders jump on it and be able to carve at angles that they're not used to, because it's able to do a 45-degree lean. That's most people ride a motorcycle leaning maybe 5 to 15 degrees, but you need to be really going fast to be able to lean that far. On our vehicle, you know, you can be going 5 miles an hour and still do a 45-degree lean. And the leaning is the part of riding that's fun, you know? And so, yeah, we just want to maximize that enjoyment.
This was the vehicle itself. I wonder if we still would have time for the actual bio video, the one I preferred, the best one. But let me explain a couple of things. What's really cool from the safety standpoint for parents, as well as all the riders, young ones, old ones, anyone, there's storage opportunities on the vehicle. It has incredible braking. It's got front wheel drive as an electric motor, which is really rare in the world of scooters and e-bikes and things like that. It has 3-wheel hydraulic brakes in bigger tires for more traction. And it's got sophisticated suspension that's adjustable. It has so many things going for it. It is fabulous. And his plans for a future freeway flying vehicle is extraordinary, very aerodynamic. All the talents that he has as an instructor at Art Center College. So I think we're not going to be able to see that. We'll run out of time, that bio one.
Yeah,
but we'll have it up. We'll have it up as part of the virtual world, and people can view this story about how Tim invented it and how you get a product like that maintains all the federal regulations and state regulations. The neatest thing, folks, is that you can ride around all day and never put your feet down. And that's part of that self-stabilizing. And I just fell in love with it. I have a whole history myself in two-wheel and three-wheel vehicles for many years, being a technical editor and Out of Green to Gold. And this is incredible.
So for those of you just watching, I also want to mention Rachel Tice, one of our administrative executives, is broadcasting right now on Spatial in the virtual world for people who are gathering there in the immersive virtual world reality. I'll put the link up in just a moment. And again, if you want more information, you can go to regenerationglobal.com and, of course, greentogold.org and Earthstock Enterprises. And with that, we want to go all the way back to Boulder, from Lahaina, Maui to Boulder, Colorado with Omashar. So welcome back.
When you feel like giving up, when you feel like letting go, living in this ever-changing world, when it seems that all is lost and you don't know where to turn, the future seems so very far away. So just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. So when it seems that you're alone and the fears knock at your door, remember I am just a breath away. You are my brightest star, you've just forgotten who you are. Remember there is nothing in the way, so just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. So when you feel like giving up, when you feel like letting go, remember I am just a breath away. And just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day.
So I want to introduce Phil for a second, and he'll literally talk about what they're doing. To me, this is very impactful in a time, amazingly, like this year, with the absolute craziness happening in the United States administration and the cutbacks and the whole issue about migrants and immigrants and people seeking asylum, and what happens on the normal flow of all these years between the Hispanic countries, Mexico and in the Central Americas and in the Americas and beyond, and what they put together. And it's not just, as he'll explain to you, the leveraging of communications and financial ability and security, but they also have a breakthrough that has to do with medical records and how they're transmitted and the security of them and the speed. And I'll let Phil do that, but we're really proud to have him involved. This is an impactful venture that has a major partner that he'll talk about that's involved with him. So Phil, take it from there.
Thank you, Professor, and happy Easter and happy Earth Day to everybody. It's an important day. Here at Call for USA, we saw a serious problem. And it starts with the Hispanic community. I'm a telecommunications veteran. My entire career has been in telecommunications. We actually went to the PCS auctions, and we had acquired 27 licenses to provide cell phone service that we ultimately sold to AT&T back in December of 1999. But over time, we've seen that the Hispanic community here in the United States is very underserved. There are approximately 60 million Hispanics living in the United States right now, of which 50 million identify from Mexico. Of the 50 million, approximately 40 million are here legally. They're documented. And we found that nearly 60% of this large niche market have no bank accounts or credit cards. They stay in touch with their families religiously. And they send money back home. 80% of the money is used for food, 20% for clothing. The average transfer being $325. Last year, over $60 billion was sent from the United States to Mexico. 7.7% of all international calls worldwide, 7.7% go from the United States down to Mexico. So we've created a new cell phone company that will initially target Hispanics living here in the United States, providing unlimited calling to Mexico, free roaming down to Mexico. But even more importantly, we're going to make it easier for the folks in Mexico to stay in touch with their friends and family that live here in the United States. There are apps out there that do that right now, but the apps are really a workaround. We've created a solution. We're going to provide all of our customers with a local Mexico number. No matter where you're from in Mexico, we're able to get a local number in that area, which we will give our customer that number. He shares that number with his friends and family in Mexico. And when they dial that number from any phone, whether it be a home phone, an office phone, a pay phone, a cell phone, it's like they're calling their next door neighbor. We're going to save them money by doing this because we're not going to charge enormous prices for this service. You know, we'll have $19.95, $34.95, and $54.95. And all of it will include unlimited calling to Mexico, free roaming to Mexico, as well as the local Mexico number. It's where the amount of data that you're going to use will change that price. Embedded with our service, I've created a mobile wallet. It is a very comprehensive, easy to use mobile wallet. If you have a bank account or credit card, you'll be able to use this mobile wallet, but we designed it really for those without a bank account or credit card. So we have an easy process for our customers to get money onto the mobile wallet at retail. We have distribution ready to go. We expect to be in 24 to 30,000 storefronts from the time that we launch within 18 months. You'll be able to buy a cash card at the register, and the money up to $500 you can put onto that card. That will show up onto your mobile wallet right away. Once the money is on your mobile wallet, our customers will be able to buy goods and services just like anyone else, any other mobile wallet out there, any credit card or debit card out there. It'll work just like that. So now you're unbanked, but now you get treated like everyone else. You don't have a foot on your neck any longer. You'll be able to transfer money from your mobile wallet. You'll be able to do that peer-to-peer. You'll be able to send money to an ATM machine to pick up the cash. You'll be able to send money down to Mexico, the traditional method, where people go and they pick up the cash from a bank, a kiosk, a store that delivers the cash. You'll be able to pay your bills with the mobile wallet. You'll be able to purchase crypto coin with the mobile wallet. And something that was important to me, you'll be able to cash your paycheck with the mobile wallet, or you can have your employer do a direct deposit to the mobile wallet. And I can tell you, I ran a program for Windstream. I worked for a company for 16 years managing the contracts that we had with AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, Liberty Latin America, Clear Channel Outdoor, and of course Windstream. And we had 150 people going door to door in rural parts of Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Colorado. Not one of our employees had a bank account or credit card. Not one. We had a hell of a time paying them. Because these folks, they don't earn a whole lot of money. They don't want to take a check to get it cashed because of how much it costs to cash that paycheck. How much money they lose out of the money that they've earned. So it's important that we allow employers to do a direct deposit to the mobile wallet for these folks that don't have bank accounts or credit cards. And we're ready to go to market, and we're looking for investors at this point. But it's an important service. Especially today, it's more important now with what we're seeing happening in the chaos around the world. It's more important now than ever before.
Absolutely. And I just want to mention really quick that we're joined by Hector Benton from Naciones Ancestrales in Mexico. He is our alliance and collaborator for Build Back Green Mexico with Alan Tratner and myself. And we've been talking a lot. Also, Alan's been working with Nancy Siqueiros from the Trust Escrow. But recently there was a fire in Tepoztlan. Hector was involved in helping to not only extinguish the fire, but doing fundraising projects for relief work there on the ground. So I wanted to acknowledge him, but also acknowledge the work that you're doing, Phil, because as the broadcast goes on, I want people to know today, this is not just people talking heads, sharing information. We're actually in this broadcast creating synergy and interconnection between people that are doing projects that are connecting in real time that are going to help accelerate these regenerative solutions. So he will be presenting in just a little bit. I think we have about 1 minute left, Phil, and I'm not sure if Professor Tratner got hold of Eric, but we are coming up to a little bit of a time crunch also with Carmen Milagro from Divina World Foundation. And again, I just want to make sure that we stay on point for time. And I also just want to again thank Green Tech and EcoWise for their support for this broadcast today. It takes a lot of time. I know we all spend a lot of time on Zoom calls, but it takes a lot of time and energy to put all these things together. So Golden Road Productions and Media appreciates the sponsorship and support. So any last words, and then we'll bring back Professor Tratner.
Well, thank you for the time. We've got patents that cover how we do this. I think the only other thing I'd like to say is that, in our patents, we've built the ability for us to provide microloans, which is something that we will be doing for our customers,
That's
and charitable events as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Phil. This is great. It's always a joy to work with you. Carmen, by the way, who's going to be on this broadcast, and as you mentioned, helped with the summit in the summer, the Earthstock Summit. She's the one that brought us Call for USA, and she has deep connection to the entire Hispanic community around the world. So I want to get next to Chris Robinson. I did write to Eric, try to get him to see if he's coming on. But now we'll do Chris Robinson followed by Devin, and then I guess you'd queue up Carmen. So why don't we just fill in the one missing one with Chris from The Promise. Chris, can you come on?
There we go. Hello, Professor Tratner. Thank you so very much for having me on. Happy Resurrection Day. And it's really awesome to combine Resurrection Day with, we're talking about Earth Day. Earth is resurrecting itself from all the damage that we continue to do to it. And so I'm excited to be a part of this. The Promise Worldwide, we are hoping to work or to build under your guidance and partnership a process that's basically going to solve problems for the world and all of its inhabitants. The problems that we are dealing with are waste issues, domestic, commercial, and hazardous, food insecurity internationally, all over the world, and pollutants in the air, in the water, and in the soil. Our process is patent pending. The process works with plasma gasification, but what we have done, we've been able to do is take plasma gasification to a whole new level of efficiency. That level of efficiency allows us to deal with a lot more materials, a wider range of materials. And because it's so efficient, the runoff of the exhaust that we have from processing the different materials it has such a low signature that it actually turns out, it's kind of interesting, but it actually turns out that the air that's coming out of our exhaust is cleaner than the air that you're breathing on your street. So we're really excited about that. And then we look at like the process plants that we are building. They are designed to be self-sufficient, or self-sustaining rather. So that means that we can build these plants anywhere in the world. That means that we can now go into like a third world country, underserved territories, and we can provide them with fresh water. We can provide them with energy. We can provide them with education, and we can provide them with food. So we're excited about that as well. The processing plants, we have the ability to produce our own energy. And the wonderful thing about that is that we can produce as much energy as we like, and it all just depends on how much waste we get. And there's a lot of waste out there, so we can produce a lot of energy. Just to give you an example, it takes 428,400 cubic feet per hour of synthetic gas to generate 60 megawatts of electricity. That's equal to 1,500 tons of waste. Assuming the average collection truck or waste truck has approximately 20 tons of waste, that's a minimum of 75 trucks per day dropping off waste at our facilities. To process that 1,500 tons of waste in our plasma gasification plants only takes 0.00375 watts of energy. So we can produce 60 megawatts of energy with that 1,500 tons of waste. 60 megawatts of energy can power up to 60,000 average American homes. So depending on how much energy they're using. So, I mean, we're really excited about that. And it's an exciting thing that we have to do. We're working with our partners on the industrial power generators. Right now, they are able to run off of carbon neutral fuels that we would be producing, but we are going to be working with them to develop the efficiency level to run off of green hydrogen, which is also what we're going to be producing. That will either match or exceed the output levels of the conventional generation, industrial generators output levels. So we're going to be working with them to run strictly off of green hydrogen, which means that there will be no pollutants that are coming out of that at all. All of the products that we're going to be producing are going to be green certified. And so another great thing about what we're doing is by putting less waste into the earth, it's actually helping the earth to work through its healing process. And so that, again, is very important on Earth Day. And it's again, exciting to be about part of all of that. We also have on our foundational side, many ways that we're going to be helping underserved communities, territories. We're working on a future licensing agreement to produce solar panels. And the solar panel program that we're going to be doing, that we're going to be running through our foundation, is basically going into these underserved communities or territories and educating them on self-sustaining energy and how to produce and utilize that energy in effective ways. And then also, we're also going to be training them how to manufacture these and our plants that we'll be putting out there, so that they are building the solar panels that they're going to be providing the communities that they live in. So we're really excited about that. Just a quick overview of our plant campus, what it's going to look like, the different parts that are going to be on our campuses. So obviously, we're going to have the plasma gasification plant. That's the major part. That's where we take in the waste and process it and turn it into different products. But we're also going to have the solar panel manufacturing facility. We are also looking to have a solid state battery manufacturing facility. We will also have a carbon dioxide capture facility, which something that I found out after the fact, I didn't really realize this, but carbon dioxide actually does have a lot of health benefits. And so, especially when you're looking at sparkling mineral water. So that's a big thing. We're very excited about that. We're looking at working with different companies for carbon infused cement. And we're actually talking with a company that does 3D cement, 3D printing of structures. And so if we can put carbon infused cement in those structures, it's a much stronger cement, and it takes the carbon, it's not put back into the atmosphere once we take it out. Once it's stored in that cement, it stays there. It will stay there for as long as that structure is standing, which again is really really exciting. Another part of the campus is going to be a full and true recycling facility that can recycle all plastics, glass, e-waste. It can recycle lithium-ion batteries, so they don't have to come out of mines, which again is a terrible thing for the earth. And we'll be able to fully process all types of paper. We're also going to have a commercial composting facility, a cloud data center facility, and a crypto mining facility. The biggest part and the most exciting part is that we will have a controlled environment agricultural facility. And that is a combination of a vertical grow and a greenhouse facility. So, and we can scale it up or we can scale it down. And we can also have external portions of it where, it's going to be traditional growing. But what we do is we give them time. There's time to develop the land so that the land can be completely holistic, completely organic. So we don't have to put any pesticides in there. The land actually, once healthy land, is able to defend itself against pests and everything like that. So we want to be able to do that. And, with the vertical grow and sustainable farming facility, we can grow crops, all types of crops, all year round. And the harvest that comes out of that just is like head and shoulders above what a traditional farm can do. Uses less water, doesn't use any pesticides or herbicides or anything like that. Everything is natural, everything is organic. And we're just excited about that. Some of the products that we are going to be producing from the facility, again, is going to be the green hydrogen, green ammonia, nitrogen, purified oxygen, purified water, purified carbon dioxide, carbon neutral fuels, specifically for trucks, aircraft, trains, and ships. We are actually working with, talking with major truck manufacturers that have already built their EV, when they are the carbon, or I'm sorry, they are the hydrogen EV trucks. So they run off of hydrogen. They keep them powering up the battery cells. So these trucks can go forever, and they're not producing any pollution at all. So a lot of the major manufacturers already have that in place. They're ready to put it out. So we are talking with them as far as like infrastructure and providing the hydrogen to them as well.
This isn't so wonderful, Chris, what you're doing. And I'm so proud to work with you these years that I was introduced to you by our accelerator from Paul from Epics and Domino One. So I'm so pleased that you're making this progress. And I think what we'll do now is thank you for presenting today, both your for-profit and nonprofit ventures. And we're so involved in this. And you can see the synergy of all the various other products you're hearing about today, how they can fit in, and vastly more that we're not presenting on this program that are available to everyone to look at it and understand how to adopt them in your home and in your office, in your work, your manufacturing, wherever and around the world. So I think
just to give you a little context, a little bit of my background before I go into Divina World Foundation, what we're doing there. But I have been a behavioral and wellness coach. I have been working with young people probably close to 30 years now as a behavioral coach, and then turned into a wellness and life coach. And one of the things that I've learned and that I've found is that in my opinion, part of preparing for the future, part of saving the planet involves connecting with our younger folks, our younger people, our youth, because they are the future. And we have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to impart, but we have to figure out a way how to connect with them. I've had a lot of conversations with young folks, and the thing that I'm learning from them is that they do want to learn from us. They do want to not make the same mistakes that we have made. And so it's a matter of figuring out how do we bridge all of that. The other thing that I do also is I am in the incubator, Divina World Foundation, my nonprofit, and my for-profit venture, where both of those are in the green to gold incubator. Sorry, that should have turned off my phone. But the process of being in this incubator and working with so many incredible ideas and wonderful projects is not only exhilarating, but it is inspirational. And for me, it's critical because it's what fuels and keeps me going on the projects that I am developing. For example, I just want to circle back very quickly before the video starts to Phil, what you're doing with Call for USA from the perspective of how many people that you are going to be able to help, and not just with the banking and the telecommunications, but with the transfer of medical records between the different countries. So I think that this being a part of this is such an honor, and thank you all for joining us today. And here we go.
Hey, Carmen. I think your video is coming on. You should mention the fact that you're also an entrepreneur, an inventor, and a creator of an incredible wellness product, the Divina. And that's in our Regeneration World magazine, the spring special Earth Day issue. And it's available to anyone that would like to get that issue. It's at our website for Green to Gold at Regeneration Global. So take a look at our incredible issue that was filled with a lot of this content that we're talking about, that and more in different fields of regeneration and what the world needs. So I think we're almost ready to queue up Divina World Foundation.
Thank you.
Here it is. Here it is.
Woo! Well, thank you.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just a quick note, that is original music by my former co-writer and band leader and writing partner. He has since passed, but this is another way to, I believe, that we can honor our friends and our family who are no longer with us, is by including them in these types of projects. So I just wanted to let you know that, the video that you just watched was designed by our Divina World Foundation media sponsor, Expand ITV, and to help us show you how Divina World Foundation is building bridges between different generations, building bridges between many cultures, and building bridges between various communities in the metaverse. And why the metaverse? Because, as I mentioned earlier, if we, the older generation, really want to truly connect with our young people, we want to share with them, educate and guide them so that they can thrive, we have to meet them where they live. And the reality is that most young people these days are living their lives, not like we, the older folks, are doing. They're in virtual and augmented reality spaces. For example, research shows that 78% of Gen Z gets their news, their music, their education, their information. They search for entertainment, as well as they do their shopping on the live stream and gaming platforms in online communities, on demand and on their terms. This is where they live. These are the sources that they trust. So if we really want to communicate with young people, we've got to jump in and meet them there. Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know, I'm Carmen Milagro. Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, wherever you're tuning in from. It's an honor. I just wanted to mention that it's just such an honor to be a part of this incredible virtual and global forum. Thank you to Green to Gold for everything that you do, Regen Global, all the organizers and the sponsors of this year's 55th anniversary Earth Day celebration. I think that's a huge, tremendous milestone. I just want to say, I think for me, one of my greatest roles is being the founder and the chair of the Divina World Foundation. And I'm really excited and I'm very proud to share with you all that I'm the author and the creator of this keystone project called the Indigenous and World Music Hall of Fame. We have other projects, but this is a musical, historical, and educational concept that's also the intergenerational multicultural heritage preservation plan. Now, you're probably wondering why someone who is so not tech savvy is spearheading such a project. And it sounds a little crazy, but besides connecting generations and building bridges, there are a few other reasons why we're building this project. And I'm happy to share at least two of them with you today that I think are really important. The second reason that we're building this concept is because of something that I learned last year through Green to Gold. A global delegation of over 25 or 28 elders and government leaders met last summer in Honolulu, Hawaii, for the annual FestPac conference. Now, at this conference, some of the leaders expressed three major concerns. One was the rising sea levels and the dangers of climate-driven disasters for so many people, but especially island nations. The second concern that they talked about is, where are their people from these island communities going to relocate to? Where are they going to live? And the third concern was the immediate need for cultural preservation plans. So without them, how are they going to preserve their cultures, their music and their stories, their traditions and their hopes for their future generations? Now, for me, this hit me really hard. How could I help? I need to contribute with a solution instead of just standing by, right? Like Michael said earlier, we can't just keep talking about things. So I took this challenge and it became a part of my why. And then it hit me. The Indigenous and World Music Hall of Fame can be a vehicle, a curated metaverse archival library and museum to help document our elders and leaders' personal stories in their own words and languages. Now, the third reason, and this is my opinion, but I believe that no matter how old you are, or young you are, or where you come from, you need to stand for something like your core beliefs and values, saving the planet, saving humanity. But if you don't know who you are, it's a safe bet that you won't know what you stand for. And then you're more likely to just follow anyone. At Divina World Foundation, we believe that when you honor your ancestors, you honor yourself. And by celebrating your roots, you learn who you are. So how are we doing this at Divina World Foundation? Well, first of all, we don't have to, we're in a really strong position, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to be the ones that have to figure out all the puzzle pieces, because there's a tremendous amount of AI tools and companies and options that already exist. We already have the technology, and we've joined forces with experts in the use of AI for an academic, educational application. And we're currently at the forefront of this unique solution for preserving cultural heritage, stories, and identity. And this is very important because, as you know, this is no secret, there's a movement out there that's determined. They are determined to erase other people's stories and contributions to the world because they are different. I'll just leave it at that. As a global nonprofit, we at Divina World Foundation, we want to share our cultural preservation platform and make it available to other nations and all communities that are interested. So we've joined forces with Guillermo Diaz Jr. He's a former CIO at Cisco Systems, and he's the CEO and founder of Conectado Inc., our partner, and they are a high-tech AI company whose mission is aligned with ours to connect with and lead our communities together, young and old, into the future. Conectado has already built our metaverse campus, the place where our Indigenous and World Music Hall of Fame is going to reside. Plus, they also bring their academic alliances with several prestigious universities like Stanford, UC Berkeley, Western Governors University, and the power of a worldwide online community of 5 million students that our project can tap into just like that. We bring to the table the concept, the designs, an extensive network as well, plus access to musicians and artists from around the world who will come together to collaborate with the elders, to innovate with the youngsters, to revolutionize and reinvent the way in which we preserve our ancestors' voices, the way in which we create our own music, the way that we celebrate our culturas, and the way in which we tell our own stories for generations to come. We tell them in our own words. And once completed, our first pilot mock-up will be unveiled at our international coming out party when we get to officially launch the Divina World Foundation Cultural Preservation Plan that will be made available around the globe. So in essence, all of you here right now, you're some of the first people to learn a little bit about what we have planned. AI is helping us create in the metaverse a world that is truly a reflection and combination of music and ideas from around the world, art from all corners of the earth, and storytelling that's all our own in our own voices. And I don't know if some of you are too young to remember, but If you remember the early MTV music videos, you know, we an entire generation and revolutionized the way in which we engage with music. I believe this way in which we will use AI to our advantage, not to our detriment, because we can use it to document, communicate, and share our stories, to pass down traditions and lessons for our future generations to base their foundation on. Now, if we don't do this, if we don't help other communities and different cultures preserve their heritage, they could be forgotten. They could disappear. Music could be silenced, and knowledge will be replaced once again by versions that are not our own. And I'd really like for that to sink in with you for a second, because much like how our old history books were written, where so many perspectives were rewritten or eliminated, many voices are being erased today. But I believe now Divina World Foundation is creating a way to stop this from happening, or at the very least, slow it down. Think about the impact of being able to bring together hundreds of thousands of students and millions of people from around the globe on this journey together. I'm convinced, for me, obviously, this is how we're able to pass on our legacy and our collective stories and unique heritage. Imagine the powerful combination of virtual reality and music. Add to that the element of traditional storytelling, just like our shamans of yesteryear and our modern shamans, to provide students and people from all over the world the ability to learn about, to understand, appreciate, and protect our different cultures and traditions.
Well, and one of the things I want to mention, Carmen, we're almost out of time, is that we have two amazing carriers of ancestral wisdom and tradition, stories, and music here today with us. Grandmother Gail Thomas from Asheville, North Carolina, Salagi, grandmother, and also Hector Benton, who travels throughout Mexico and works with many elders and curanderos and medicine people and keepers of song. So again, the whole broadcast today is really starting to connect some of these elements. I just want to show for a quick second, since you brought it up, I just want to share real quick, and then we're going to come back to you for any
Sure,
final words. I just wanted to share really briefly, because Rachel is blowing up my phone and sending me tons of photos of what's happening right now in the Earthstock virtual world. So I want to share that with you right now, just for a moment, and bear with me here. And this is what's happening in the Earthstock virtual world on Earth Day, where we're broadcasting. Can you see that right now in the Earthstock virtual world? So I want to share that. And here you can start to see some of the environment there. A moment, the promotion for Earth Day today here. And again, we want to acknowledge the virtual world on Earth Day, where we're broadcasting. And then here we have the Regeneration Global Tent in the Earthstock Healing Arts Village. So I want to share that. We have our Wisdom Keepers Village. Also later today, after this broadcast, I put the link in. There is going to be, again, we want to link to film festivals that are going on with dozens of amazing films, including Christopher Zeloff and other people that are presenting today. So again, this is, like you said, it's a way that people can connect around the world, especially to younger people who are very plugged into virtual reality. So I just want to acknowledge that. And thank you for your time. And any last words before we go on with Professor Troutner?
I do. I'll just wrap it up. I just wanted to say that, I subscribe to the belief that by understanding different cultures, the ideas of empathy, appreciation, tolerance, acceptance, and compassion are then born and nurtured. And that's what Divina World Foundation, Indigenous World Music Hall of Fame project. It's the first global cultural preservation plan created in the metaverse for the purpose of battling hateful rhetoric. And we're just getting started. So thank you for your time. I think Divina World Foundation is offering hope. And I think it's a perfect time for the global collaborative movement, like today's Earth Day celebration and Renaissance, as we join the guardians of the planet and the wisdom keepers. We bring everyone together. And I think this is our way of doing it in the AI and virtual reality space. And I think that if you're a student or an elder who wants to volunteer, be a part of what we're building, or you simply want to learn more or donate, just please visit us at divinaworldfoundation.org. I think that, we can let's all be blessed together. Let's all be kind together. And let's create this impact together. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I just want to offer another word that we use here in Earthstock. We say regeneration, but we say regenaissance. It's a renaissance of regenerative solutions. So thank you, Carmen, and great to see you, and always appreciate our time together. We are going to, in a minute, just have some music with Omashar, and then we're going to switch gears, but we want to have the last presenter with Devin from Super Crowd 25, and then we're going to be bringing in some of our Indigenous Wisdom Council members, Grandmother Gail, along with Hector, and of course, Christopher Zeloff, renowned filmmaker and publisher of books around ecological design. So lots more to go, and I want to hand it back to Professor Tratner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. So this is our last solutionary segment for Green to Gold this morning on our special public global broadcast on Regen Media of Earth Day 55 and our birthday, Green to Gold birthday. And we have Devin Thorpe coming up from Super Crowd. And we have a new alliance with him. He has been gracious enough to make Green to Gold and what we're doing one of the co-hosts and a sponsor of his event coming up in May 1st through the 3rd in Santa Monica, California. And it's a gathering he's been doing for years. He's the producer, host, the oracle of this, of equity crowdfunding and beyond. And what struck me about meeting him is that his email said, Super Crowd for good. And now that I've seen his libraries behind him, his books and everything, I understand that he is in the philosophical vent that we're all about and part of Earth Day for all these 55 years. So, Devin, I think you should be able to come on.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Devin. This worked. Now everyone can see what I was talking about, your library behind you.
Yeah.
So why don't you take it and explain in your slot as a solutionary about what you've been doing and what this event coming up is, and that you have an international following, and it's about investors and entrepreneurs coming together. And I just got to do a little preface of this, if you will beg my pardon on this. We found that being asked as a major incubator on the planet during the SEC's promulgation of all the rules and regulations to allow the Obama Jobs Act, the equity crowdfunding to happen, what was amazing to me is that I said, this will be a revolution, the democratization that anybody in the world, accredited or unaccredited, could invest into a green to gold venture that's having impact and new technologies and solutions in renewable energy and building materials and recycling and all the fields that we cover. It would be a really incredible thing. And it was proven in the COVID, when everybody was shut down and closed and everybody was turning to the internet, and how equity crowdfunding surged and surpassed all the normal venues that had live pitch days for investors and entrepreneurs presenting, and we were part of that, and Maverick Angels and everything that we were doing out of Green to Gold, that all shut down, and it was all on the computers, all the hundreds of millions, billions of people at home or in their offices doing that on computers, and crowdfunding surged. And from that point, it never looked back. It has continued to grow around the world. There's different equity crowdfunding platforms, and Devin will address that. But it's just a surge that makes such a difference. You don't have to be a wealthy individual or Wall Street or anything else anymore. It can be everyone sharing in the opportunity to create wealth, but also direct impact with your money into ventures like we're talking about today that will make a big difference for now and in the future for civilization, society, and all the life forms on planet Earth. So I'm so pleased to be working with Devin. We have some great plans for later this year that will be announced. But Devin, take it from now and please explain a little bit about your background and why you got into this and what you're doing in Maine.
Well, thank you. We are so excited about our partnership with you, Alan. We're thrilled to be a part of this growing community of people who are focused on solving problems on the planet, especially with that in mind. And with I'm so grateful to be a part of a program that also respects the vital role of the indigenous populations around the world who need to be treated as a key part of this, so that our solutions are community focused, community oriented. And of course, the beauty of that is that this notion of regulated investment crowdfunding, I focus on what we call impact crowdfunding, the idea of using investment crowdfunding for good. And we just love it because it allows, as you were saying, Alan, for ordinary people to participate in the solutions and really at infinite scale. And what do I mean by infinite scale? The reality is, if you are investing your money and getting financial returns on that money, you can reinvest and reinvest and reinvest. It doesn't end. And so your impact can continue. And you say, well, what can I do that would possibly have impact? Well, there are all kinds of things you can do. I've invested in literally dozens of climate solutions that are community and locally based over the last several years. It gives us a tremendous opportunity. And it's not really hard to find. The reality is there are a lot of people in this world who share our passion for solving climate problems. And so you can visit a site like Climatize that's devoted 100% to climate solutions and invest there. And here's the thing. On Climatize, they never charge investors a fee if you connect your bank account to transfer the money. Small fee if you're using a credit card, but no fee if you use your bank account, and you can invest $10. And think about that. You can start learning how to do investment crowdfunding with an impact focus for $10 with looking at climate solutions. Visit climatize.earth. It's not my business. I don't make any money from telling you this. I'm telling you this because, like me, like you, we all care about the planet. We all care about solving these problems and using solutions that would work for indigenous communities, local businesses, local communities. It's really powerful stuff. There's another website called Honeycomb Credit that recently acquired another portal called Raise Green, and they have a whole section of climate focused, earth focused projects as well. And one of the things I love about these deals, both on Climatize and on Honeycomb Credit, is most of these deals are structured as debt, which means they're easy to understand, right? So you're going to see, okay, I put in $100, and over the next 3 years, I get paid back at a 10% interest rate or a 12% interest rate. Yes, I'm taking risk, but I'm getting an interest rate that is far higher than I could get in the bank where there's no risk. So it's worth the risk to invest in people. And because you can make small investments, you can create a diversified portfolio of earth-centric conscious investments right there at in your own name, in your own portfolio, and you can profit from participating in climate solutions. Now, what do? I help educate people and share this message in meaningful ways. I'm not just an evangelist we have a streaming television show that streams twice a week called The Super Crowd Presents Superpowers for Good. We have our event coming up, Super Crowd Los Angeles, Super Crowd LA, coming up May 1st through 3rd. And that is coming up. And again, another meaningful way to bring people together. That event you can attend if you want to travel to Los Angeles, and there are people traveling huge distances to be there. Let me be very clear about that. Feel free to travel. We would love to have you. There are a few, not a lot, there are a few tickets left. Visit supercrowdla.com. That's supercrowdla.com to get your tickets. But here's a secret. We're also going to stream the event live to television and elsewhere across social media, so you can watch the entire event. Visit supercrowdla.com right now, and you can register for free for the live stream and get all the details, so you know exactly the best place to go for you to find that content. So I encourage you, please visit supercrowdla.com to get your tickets to the Super Crowd LA. Now, we're also hosting an event. It's a different event coming up in August. And on the screen, I think you may be seeing the Super Crowd 25 event. That's a different event. It will be an all virtual 2-day summit in August. And we're thrilled and excited to have you participate in that event as well. Also free, but whoever's got that screen, I invite you to pop over to Supercrowd LA. That page is much more urgent and much more critical for us. We've got the partnership with Green to Gold for that event, and so we would love to have you focus on that today. But we also have a daily newsletter that goes out focusing on impact crowdfunding. And so there are every single day opportunities for you to learn more about opportunities to invest, how to invest. We provide content about educational materials all the time that would allow you to learn more about how you can participate. So whoever's got that screen, I think maybe that's you, Michael. Just click that first banner that says Super Crowd LA, and that'll take you to the page you want to be on.
Okay.
It's that first big banner. Or there you go. You can go to the Super Crowd Los Angeles page there. Just click that.
Yep.
And we really would love to have you participate with us there. It's absolutely free. And we think you'd really enjoy it. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter at Superpowers for Good. All righty.
And I'm really looking forward to being there. It's part of a whole build up to Build Back Green LA and the Earthstock Summit and Festival, which will be happening the first week of October, where we want to invite all of you to please put it on your calendars right now, because we're going to be bringing together hundreds of solutionaries through technology, through media, working to help build back LA in a greener, more holistic way. So again, the timing of your event and the way that all these things are happening, and of course, Earth Day today and Professor Chatner's work is just truly amazing.
So Devin, thank you so much for presenting this today and for adopting us in a way, and we adopting you. I look forward to what we'll do this year and accomplish in a very challenging environment this year on the 55th anniversary of Earth Day, with the U.S. administration in trying to cut back and back off all the wonderful achievements of 55 years from the original Earth Day. You know, the EPA was founded on that first year. It was a Republican administration, the Nixon administration, and Clean Water Act and the Air Act and all the different things that happened and emulated around the world. Every country that has any sense at all has an environmental protection aspect built into them. And now, because of climate change disasters, more reality has hit everyone, deniers or not, about what's going on and how we're affecting the planet. And so I think crowdfunding and the global ability of it to allow accredited and unaccredited investors to come into ventures like we create at Green to Gold is amazing. And it has been, and it'll surge better now than ever. and traditional, even angel venture capital groups, as you know, Devin, are now looking at the possibility of investing as whole groups or parts of groups into equity crowdfunding. And the one that we've been part of from the very beginning was Title III funds. I think Bruce, that's the CEO, Virgo, will be moderating with you at SuperCrowd Live. So I'm looking forward to being involved, and we appreciate this combination of the investor side, the funder financing side, and all the great impactful inventive, innovative ventures that we have in Green to Gold and beyond. So we're so thrilled to have you be part of this today, and what we look forward to being connected to you in May. So everyone, let's thank all of our solutionaries this morning. This has been jam-packed with just a little cross-section, like the tip of that iceberg that's melting from climate change, by the way, of what we represent. 100,000 plus members, 315 nonprofits that are socially, environmentally responsible, that interact, they have synergy, symbiotic relationships with our ventures. As you've heard today, our nonprofits, our for-profits, we kind of showcase that together. So once again, to Michael, it's been incredible to do this with you again for Earth Day. I give my best to everyone. Be well, be safe. I am going to exit so the rest of the program can continue. I'm emotional about the fact that we were able to do our solutionaries, this great word that Michael came up with. I met him many years ago as doing an interview in Sacramento. I was a keynote speaker, and he did this recording. He called me a solutionary, and he had this program. And so we're continuing it on a global basis. So all of you, thank you very much. I think you'll have a musical interlude, and Mike will host you for the rest of the program. And as we say in Hawaii, mahalo.
Yes.
And thank you and aloha.
Professor, before you leave, you wanted me to remind you about our new incubator location in Northern California.
That is true. We've opened up the NorCal Green to Gold, and we have another one that's in the works that's going to be in Boulder. But the one in California is for Sonoma County, and Carmen's going to be there as both her venture, her nonprofit, and also helping us. And anyone that is up there and would like to be in a wonderful environment like the other incubators that we've had of Green to Gold around the world, especially in California, our home state, this is a time to be able to take advantage of how you get the incredible help to push you along, propel you into success with your ventures and your nonprofits, of course. So thank you for reminding me about that, Carmen. Yes. And once again, what an articulate and wonderful presentation you made about Divina World and your efforts to make the world more balanced and compatible and harmonious. And Michael does that, and he cares about the indigenous, and that's why it's woven in to this presentation on Earth Day. I've been in this for 55 years, and we're chugging along in a way that I never imagined, and the alliances that you've heard about today and the people that we're incubating. I appreciate the support. Wait till you see the Harm-Free Emporium come up, and where you can get the opportunity to buy and support the products that make a difference on the planet and help you in your personal life and for the whole planet. So thank you. Here's Regeneration Global, this combination between Earth Stock and Green to Gold. You can see the 3 cycles: prevention and resilience before that happens, build back green when the disaster happens, and the whole full spectrum of our transition to the green economy, from the local ability, grassroots, and down from the highest nations and governmental bodies to work together and save this planet, save our civilization, democracy, and all the species of the planet. We have to do it now. So once again, thank you so much. Mahalo to all of you.
Goodbye, everyone, from Solano County, Fairfield, California.
The open roads of this brand new start, the peace that flows through this loving heart, 'cause freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow. Take my hand, I'm with you now. Relax yourself, your furrowed brow. The past has gone, so say hello. No looking back, onward we go. This is the life awaiting us. With family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. New mountain peaks for us to climb. New roads to walk, no reason why. It's time to know that we are one. With all in life, the central sun. It's time to know this is the life awaiting us. With all in life, with families supporting us. Michael, we can hear it. This is the life.